Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by green fields and warm sunshine, there lived a boy named Raghav. He was bright, hardworking, and sincere. Despite his efforts, life was not easy. Raghav lived with his mother and helped her manage their home. Every morning he woke up before sunrise, walked to the fields, plowed the soil, watered the plants, and worked until he was covered in sweat. Only after finishing his chores did he come home, wash up, and study for a little while. He loved learning but had little time for schoolwork. Still, the villagers believed Raghav would top his 12th grade exams because of his intelligence. Raghav tried his best to meet their expectations. When exam time arrived, Raghav worked hard during the day in the fields and studied at night under a small lamp. However, when the results came, something surprising happened. Raghav failed one subject. It felt as if his world had crashed down. The worst part wasn't just the failure, but the way the villagers reacted. Every morning as he walked to the fields, people whispered, laughed, and threw hurtful words at him. They mocked him, saying, "Look at the smart boy who failed. His intelligence is useless." Their words pierced his heart, but he kept quiet, feeling his spirit breaking. One evening, after a tiring day of work, Raghav approached his teacher, Mr. Karim, a wise man with a kind demeanor. Raghav finally spoke up, saying, "Teacher, people laugh at me when I walk to the fields. I can't bear it anymore." The teacher nodded thoughtfully and replied, "Tomorrow morning, I want you to try something. Take a large pot, fill it with milk, and walk the same path. But remember, not a single drop must spill." Raghav was confused by this odd request but trusted his teacher. The next morning he filled a big pot with fresh milk to the brim. He carefully held the pot with both hands and stepped outside. It felt heavy and shaky, and he knew that one small mistake would cause a spill. As he walked, the villagers stood along his path, ready to mock him again. Some whispered, some laughed, and some looked at him judgmentally. But this time something different happened. Raghav was so focused on the pot that he couldn't hear anything around him. His eyes were locked on the milk, his hands were steady, and he took slow, deliberate breaths. The world around him faded. He could only hear his own heartbeat. All he felt was his focus. By the time he reached the fields, not a single drop had fallen. Later that day he returned to his teacher and said, "Teacher, I was so focused on the pot that I didn't hear a single word throughout the walk." Mr. Karim smiled gently and said, "That is the lesson I wanted to teach you. When you concentrate deeply on your work, your goals, and your dreams, the opinions of others lose their power. Their noise becomes insignificant." Raghav felt a change inside him. A new calmness and strength began to grow. From that day on, he stopped worrying about the villagers' comments and studied harder than ever. He worked in the fields more peacefully and walked with newfound confidence. He realized he had been paying more attention to the villagers than to his own heart. When he carried the pot of milk, he experienced something powerful. A focused mind is unshakable. This moment transformed him completely. Raghav resumed his exam preparations with determination, working hard every day without letting outside opinions bother him. His confidence gradually returned, his fears faded, and his heart grew stronger. Even though the villagers remained unchanged, Raghav transformed, and that made all the difference. One early morning as he watched the sunrise, the golden light illuminated his face. He smiled, understanding that when you focus on your goals, all negativity blurs, much like how a camera blurs the background. This is the true power of focus. If you ever feel hurt by the words of others or experience doubt, remember Raghav's story. Take a deep breath, Hold on to your dreams and goals with steady hands, stay focused, and let everything else fade away.